Hi guys, this video is going to be a little bit more upbeat than the last one. Without going into too much detail about the last one, you know something, I really hate confrontation. I hate confrontation. But I just wanted to prove to that person that I wasn't doing anything underhanded to try and get subscribers or anything like that. But anyway, I'm not going to be preaching to people, right, about PC users to move from PC to Macs or anything like that. If people are going to do it, they're going to do it. That's entirely up to them. But what I am going to do is, first of all, what I'm going to do is turn this music down. That's it, right? Okay. So a couple of people have asked me, what they would get if they switched to Macs, and would they still be able to do certain things. What I'm going to say about this in this video is a story about somebody that switched to PC or Mac. Now, when I was first into PCs, when I first came out of the army and I was first got into PCs, I was the biggest dickhead you could ever meet. Okay, seriously. We only had our eldest daughter then, so we had a spare bedroom and I had all my PCs in it. I had about 7 PCs in there and they all had Matrix screensavers on them. I thought I was bloody Neo, for Christ's sake. Short of having a big long black coat, I had everything else. I had all these PCs and stuff like that there. I used to sit there and freaking do all this programming and stuff like that there, and I used to think I was Neo. And I even went out and bought the Nokia phone that came out, the flip thing. It was broke within about a week because I kept flipping it down. And I was just a prize dickhead, right? Anyway, when I switched, obviously everybody knows about me getting the little iBook and switching to Macs and what have you. But when I had all those PCs, there was an awful lot of expensive software on them and stuff like that. My wife just wouldn't go anywhere near them. She hated them. She never ever used them. But then she enrolled in to do a degree, which obviously then forced her into using computers. And obviously she had to use one of the computers that I had to help her. Now, what happened was, one of these, she was using a laptop and the hard drive went haywire. A couple of other things, the connector from the power cable snapped and it needed to get fixed. And needless to say, when all that happened as well, she hadn't backed up her work, so she lost an awful lot of work. Plus the computer was away for a long period of time and there was nothing else really to use except for this little iBook, which she used. And at first, reluctantly, she used it. She didn't know what she was going to do or anything like that. Anyway, as the time went past, she really, really got into the iBook. I mean, it was a job me getting it back off her when the PC laptop. As a matter of fact, when the PC laptop came back and was fixed, she didn't go back. She didn't use it again. She continued using the little iBook, and that's when we ended up getting the MacBook. Now, she does everything now. She goes, chats to friends on MSN. That was one of the questions that was asked. Can you still use MSN on Mac OS 10? Which the answer to that is yes, because my wife uses it all the time. But the thing that about her using these is that she uses them all the time now, and it's going from somebody who completely hated PCs and completely hated technology full stop, she now loves Apple. But it's not to the extent that I do or maybe some of you do, but she loves her MacBook. She takes it everywhere with her. She talks to her friends on MSN. She does loads of things on it. She goes on the Husky forums and what have you, and it's opened up a whole new world to her. She would never ever use PC now, never use it. In actual fact, her dad, my father-in-law, he has a Dell laptop. It's a pretty good computer, like laptop. It's one of the top of the range ones. but it's got Vista on it. And my wife went across there one time. And she wanted to go on to check her emails or something, and she turned around, even she turned around to her dad and said, Dad, you really want to try and buy yourself a Mac, because this is just useless. It takes so long, it's so slow, and all the rest of it. So that's my take on somebody switching from a PC to a Mac. Granted, I know that there's a lot of PC users out there that are very, very good at what they do on their PCs, and so are probably a little bit worried about whether they would get everything done on a Mac that they used to do. And my answer to that is, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that you can't do on a, that can't be done on a Mac that you can do on a PC. I'm probably wrong about that, but just off the top of my head, I can't think. So here's sort of like the conclusion to this. I don't preach to people telling them they must change to Mac or anything like that. People have their own choice, their own decisions and what have you. But if somebody asked me my opinion on it, my opinion would always be definitely change to Mac. For the reasons I've just stated. It is so easy to use. They really are, and they're reliable. All the other things that much more affluent people than me can explain better to you than I can. But in terms of just simplicity, Macs are, they're second to none. OS 10 especially outdoes the other operating systems that I've used, Windows and Linux and stuff like that. I mean, like Linux is a great operating system, and maybe it'll be better for beginners in a couple of years' time when it's a slightly more polished operating system. Because a lot of the things that you do on there, you still got to go into the kernel and stuff like that there, and do a lot of tweaking on the terminal and what have you. It's all about coding on that to change certain things. So, but that's for another video. That. But in terms of this video, for the people that have asked me about switching to Mac, my answer would be yes, definitely switch to Mac. You will have a fantastic experience, and I don't think you will regret it. I've never heard of many people switching to Mac and going back to PC. I'm not saying people haven't done it, but I just haven't heard of many people doing it. And another thing, this is how sad of a Mac user I am. Our local PC World, which is just round the corner from where I live, it's not very far at all. They stock a couple of iMacs and MacBooks and what have you, and because obviously they're primarily a PC store. That's where they make the most of their money, but they do sell these other products. But because obviously their salespeople are more focused on selling PCs, which is maybe where they get the most commission and stuff like that there, the few Mac products that are left out on the shelf for display are always filthy. Always filthy. People obviously don't bother going across, and the shop staff obviously don't go across and take as good care of those as they do with the PCs. Anyway, in comes dickhead like me with a couple of wet wipes or something like that there, and I'll always go down and maybe clean the keyboard or something like that, because I think I personally think it makes Apple look bad. People walk in and they maybe walk in with a view to maybe buying an Apple, and they go over and they see this grubby looking machine sat there, and all it's down to is just because the people in the store haven't taken proper care of it, and therefore it reflects bad on Apple and Apple users. And yeah, I know it's stupid, I don't go across purposely to do it. If I'm just going across to have a browse at software or something like that there, and if I see it's really grubby, I'll go out to the car and lift a wet wipe or something like that there and give it a wee once over. But anyway, that's my video. Just thought I would try and make a better video than the last one. Something a little bit more upbeat. And thanks for everybody that's responded to the last video. I really appreciate it. And thank you all very, very much. And I hope to see you all soon again. Bye.